Okay, Genji. Let's actually talk about the Genji just a wee little bit. Basically, what Genji does better than Tracer is Genji is a little bit weaker at controlling short off angles because he's not as self-sufficient as Tracer, right? Like you guys saw like the clinic that Heesang put, especially in that last fight there. Genji can do that, not quite as well as Tracer. But what Genji can do is he has a much more powerful turn. Like, when I mean turn, it's a Korean concept. It's not unique to Korea, but it's a term that I like. T-U-R-N, turn. And it basically means that there is a cycle of cooldowns where Genji is very strong. And he's very strong, very, very powerful couple of seconds, and then he has a weakness. So basically what ends up happening is here is you could, like, let me give you guys a scenario. They take some off angles, they poke, they pressure, they force some CDs. Junman sees an opportunity, goes rampage mode, jumps, slams in the backline, Lip has an angle, Lucio speeds in, Genji dashes in, and like that burst where Genji commits, like there's a dash, there's a right click, you're gonna do more than a Tracer. You're gonna do more than a Tracer. That brief window of time is where Genji is really special. And I think that's kind of like what they're leaning into with this Kiriko Lucio comp is like, they're going to find ways to close the distance and then have that brief window where there's like a lot of kill threat. Now the Mauga is definitely interesting. But yeah. There it is. There it is. I promise you have not seen this map. I promise you have not seen this map. There's your turn. And not only is it a commit, a 3-2-1, but notice that they're not even grouped up. Why? Because you have to split their attention. Check it out. Lucio speed comes in from two different angles, and blam. And this is such a cool combo too. The Mauga is one of the reasons behind the Mauga might be this right here. It's just one big burst of value, like the Genji. The Orisa would be a much better consistent sustained pressure. Oh, it's so good. And because it gets the dash reset, the turn extends. You get a better burst for less consistency, exactly. Like this kind of stuff here, this is where a Tracer would be better. A Tracer could be kind of going up here with Lucio and harassing and distracting, and a Genji can't quite do that quite as well. But you guys can see the value of the Genji here. Now he is going to do this because you need to, again, like Tracer, contest the short off angles, setup and stuff, but you're just not quite as good at it. Off angle, off angle, off angle. This is where you kind of want a little bit of a soft contest on high ground. Right, like this. He might not commit here, but he's going to scare us. Deflect, force the roll, force the pocket, do it again. He doesn't have his deflect, so he can't quite do it yet, but he might. And see, look at this. This is the other thing too, is it's like, the Genji thing is the same thing as Tracer. He takes the angle and he shoots what he can shoot. He's going to shoot Cassidy if he can, but he doesn't have this deflect, so he doesn't really want to. So he's going to shoot the tank a little bit from this off angle, like he was doing on Tracer. As soon as he gets close to his deflect, which he has it now, oh, he thought about it. That's actually such a huge shot from Proper. Because that, otherwise, he 100% goes for that. Still has his deflect, though. There's the turn. The Mauga's going for the commit. Falcons flip the fight. Where is our Genji going to off angle next? Now, there's a couple of choices here. You could commit here with Blade and beat. You could off angle here and shoot the Orisa from this off angle here. You could drop on the Cassie underneath you. He's bailed out by his team, also hard committing. But there's your turn value. You don't deserve love, exactly. What happens if you lose the duel on the off angle and you're forced out? You just go back to your team or stabilize or go back in. You avoid going back to your team if you can. If you can stay on the angle and just kind of play it safer, you always do that if you can. But sometimes, like let's say you're a Tracer, no recall, and you have no blinks, and they have a Tracer and she's gonna chase you. You might need to go back to your team or at least to a health pack. But you try to at least like be in a position, and the reason why that's the case is because you can still kind of be a threat, a soft threat to prevent them from like running down. But the other thing too is it means that it saves you time from having to start all over again. So if like, let's say that, remember when the Cassidy was here, right? Let's go back to this fight again. Oh no, Cassidy was big brain and poked me out, shoot. If possible, if let's say Team Red wasn't rotating here, what Heesang would have done if they were all playing here is he would have ducked in here and shot tank for a little bit and kind of played it safe and then waited for his HP to come back and then do it again. If Cassidy drops and pushes you, then he's probably going to die. The Cassidy's probably going to die. It's way too risky. So you kind of soft give it up, but you don't try to not completely abandon it, because then you waste all that time. It's a great question. Yeah, exactly, Matt. He was basically assuming that he was going to get Suzu and beat, and they were just going to hard commit him. It was a good fight plan. The layering there of the ultimates was really good. Chill. Baits at the deflect. And now he doesn't even necessarily need to take an off angle. They got to come to him because they got a touch point. There's the Torbjorn swap. That's kind of funny. Double poke. So normally you guys probably talk to me about like not loving the frontline deflect. This is where team play is slightly different than ranked play. Because if I'm playing Genji in ranked here, I'm probably going to be looking for like a deep flank to go. But remember, we talked about the deep flanks have to be supported. That might not be in their game plan. And because there really isn't another angle that Heesang can play, like Heesang can't play here, it's too far away, it's too isolated. He can't really play here, it's too far, it's too isolated, you just get poked out. It might be okay to go for a frontline deflect to try and farm some value, as long as you're not going to hard commit in the next 8 seconds. Definitely DPS, yes, mostly. Almost exclusively DPS. Tanks don't really care. Like, even Wrecking Ball gets pretty marginal value out of it. That can also allow his Mauga to rotate to the next corner, which is fairly useful. But next deflect is really important, because you're going to see a beat engage, and we'll probably not see a deflect wasted now, because they're about to commit. Oh no, John, we get smoked. Yeah, that's unfortunate. And like, for example, here, they're not likely to waste deflect here, because again, we're looking for pre-using our beat blade pretty darn soon here. There's the commit, there's the turn, here comes the blade. No, they actually don't blade. They actually just kite out 4 ultimates, which is honestly worth the double support ultimate here. This is a really cool layering plan. They cause like, oh, here comes the beat blade, we blow everything, and they just did. And yes, it costs 2 of their most valuable ultimates, but they still have 2. That's terrible from Falcons, yes, but it's hard. It's hard. I think my major problem with Falcons is I think their setup wasn't good. I think they should have had some sort of a split up here, I think, instead. But yeah. But you know me, there's always going to be a reason to split. But yeah, this is great. This is great. Now Heesang can just chill. Set up from top left. 3, 2, 1, Sojourn ult for space. Now Sojourn ult first because it's easier to get value from Sojourn ult from range. You make them all kite into here, and then you blade them. Here comes the Mauga slam and the blade. And there it is. Mauga zones backline. He kills the isolated DPS. And the blade is good. Now, it's a really good trade actually there from Smurf. I'm not sure what the support follow-up was there from the rest of Team Red, but the blade itself was good. Early deflect for value, for rotation. We're going to see probably another commit here with Mauga ultimate here. It needs to come fast before Bap Winnow, because Bap Winnow can ruin Mauga ult. Oh! Snipe Stalker. Short off angle. Short off angle, saves his deflect, gets down and dirty with it, and we win this. And that's a cap, ladies and gentlemen. Should be, anyway. Yeah. Yeah, really well done. Yeah, I mean, Heesang played it well. I think there was very little complaints there. The mechanics were good. The strategy was good. The ults were good. I think the only thing there was, like, questioning some of those, like, quote-unquote sandwiches, right? Like, moving from point A to point B instead of just continuing to hold the angle there. Good stuff. Should Falcons have held high ground there? Maybe. I think Falcons probably needed to have deeper splits, but yeah. Like, I would have preferred Chio to have been with his DPS instead. I don't think Chio needed to be with his Baptiste. I think his Baptiste has more than enough support here. Instead, Chio can kind of try to just basically bash out and avoid the Mauga ultimate and then pack from there. But yeah.